Okay, let's talk about it. You decide you're going to get strong. You drop to the floor for that first push-up and, well, it doesn't happen. Maybe your arms just give out or your hips drop. It's one of the most common frustrations in fitness. But believe me, you are not alone.
In fact, check this out. A whopping 53% of Americans can't do 10 push-ups. So if you're struggling with them, you're actually in the majority. But the good news is there is a clear, simple path forward. We're going to break down exactly why the push-up is so tricky and give you a step-by-step plan that actually works.
Yeah, if that hits a little too close to home, then you are in exactly the right place. Let's get right into the why.
So what's the big secret here? Why do so many of us get stuck? Well, it all comes down to one thing: a massive, and I mean massive, strength gap between the usual starting point and the real deal.
Here's the whole problem laid out in numbers. When you do a push-up on your knees, you're lifting about 60% of your body weight. But to do a full, proper push-up, you gotta lift around 75%. That 15% jump doesn't sound like much, but it's a huge leap in strength. It's why you see people who can do tons of knee push-ups but can't manage a single full one. They're stuck trying to jump across a canyon.
So, the solution isn't to just keep trying to make that impossible jump? Nope. It's to build a bridge. Or even better, a ladder. We're going to use a simple series of exercises that let you slowly and safely build the strength you need to finally conquer the full push-up.
And here is what that ladder looks like. See, we're starting at the very beginning with wall push-ups, then we work through different inclines, then to our knees, and finally, we use a cool trick called the alternating push-up right before we hit our goal. So let's break down each rung of this ladder.
Step 1, the wall push-up. Now, I know what you might be thinking, this looks way too easy. But trust me, this is the true foundation. It lets you nail the proper form without a lot of load. If you can't do any other version, this is your starting line, and it is way more effective than it looks. After the wall, we move to incline push-ups. You can use a kitchen counter, a sturdy desk, whatever works. The rule is really simple. The higher up your hands are, the easier the exercise is. This is how we start to close that big strength gap, by gradually increasing how much of your body weight you're actually lifting. All right, now for the final rungs of the ladder before the big one. First, you'll master the knee push-up with perfect form. Then you'll move to something called the alternating push-up. This is where you lower yourself down in a full push-up position, but then drop to your knees to push back up. This little hybrid movement is the secret key to finally conquering that last big strength leap.
Okay, so you've got the exercises, but how do you actually turn them into a workout? It's simple, it's repeatable, and there's no guesswork involved. Let's look at the plan.
Here it is. It's this easy. Pick the exercise on the ladder you can do for 3 sets of about 8 to 10 reps with good, clean form. Do that workout 2 to 3 times a week. And notice, I said 2 to 3 times a week, not every day. Your muscles don't get stronger during the workout, they grow while they recover afterwards. That rest is absolutely crucial. Once you can hit 3 clean sets of 12 reps, congratulations! You've earned the right to level up to the next step.
But listen, all the training in the world won't do you any good if your form is off. Let's make sure you're getting the movement right every single time. This is how you avoid getting hurt and actually make progress.
Let's talk about the #1 mistake pretty much everyone makes, the sagging hips. You gotta think of your body as a straight, rigid plank all the way from your head to your feet, or your knees depending on the version you're doing. Don't let your hips drop toward the floor. The fix? Squeeze your core and your glutes to lock everything into one solid line. And here are a few more rapid-fire tips. Make sure you use a full range of motion, all the way down, all the way up. Control the movement, especially on the way down. Don't just drop and bounce. If your wrists are bothering you, try turning your hands out a little bit or doing them on your fists. And if you feel your core giving out before your chest does, just add some basic planks to the end of your workouts. So we've covered the what and the how, but honestly, the most important part of all of this is the mindset. Getting stronger is all about patience and consistency. It's not about trying to skip to the end.
I absolutely love this analogy. Think about it. Each step on this ladder is there for a reason. Skipping a step is just like trying to fight the final boss when you're still at level 1. It's just not going to work. You have to master your current level, own it, and then, and only then, do you move on.
So what does this journey actually look like in real life? Well, for most people who stick with it, you could be looking at doing your first full push-up in about 6 to 8 weeks. Some people might be faster, some might be a little slower. The timeline doesn't matter nearly as much as the consistency. Just stick with the plan and you will get there. So there you have it. That's the entire roadmap. You have the ladder, you have the training plan, and you've got the mindset. The only question left to answer is,
What's your level 1? Find it today and start climbing.